Hello and welcome everyone. Today we are going to discuss a very important achievement of India's Defence Research and Development Organization, that is DRDO. 2 days back, one image was emerged on social media platforms and that created a buzz among the defense analysts. And it is well reported by all the leading newspapers yesterday. Okay, now what is this image? This image, you can see that here there is a missile and it is basically put at launcher, which is mentioned at Astra launcher, and the name of the missile is Gandiva. The name of missile is Gandiva. So let's discuss about what is this Gandiva missile and why it is very important and how it has created so much buzz among the defense analysts. Fine. So first of all, Astra. So Astra is a beyond visual range BVR missile, air to air, means it can be launched from fighter jets platform, and developing an air-to-air missile is considered as one of the most complex thing. Fine. Why? Because you have to launch the missile from the moving target and you have to hit a moving target, and that is why it is considered as most complex thing to achieve in the field of defense. Fine. So India has started developing the beyond visual range missile. Here, just have a clarity what beyond visual range means. If we see the earth as a curvature, fine. So if you are here, other person is here, means one fighter jet is here, other fighter jet is here, and they are heading towards each other. Then the pilot A can see pilot B if they are at the distance of 60 to 70 kilometers. But as Earth is an elliptical shape, so what happened if this aircraft is here? Then this pilot cannot see this aircraft. Fine. So if you have launched a missile from here, pilot of this aircraft cannot see. And that is why it is called beyond visual range. Why? Because a pilot in an aircraft can see in front maximum up to 60 to 70 kilometers. And when the missile is launched beyond that, it is called beyond visual range missiles, BVR missile. So for a BVR missile, it must have minimum capacity of what? Minimum range of 80 kilometers. Why? Because if it is not 80 kilometers and you have launched from 60 to 70 kilometers or 50 kilometers or 30 kilometers, it will be clearly visible to the enemy pilot. But if you are at the distance of suppose 100 kilometers and you have launched the missile, then pilot will see the missile only when this missile already traveled how much? 30 kilometers. Or 50 kilometers. And then for other pilot, it is very difficult to evade that missile. Okay. So this is why beyond visual range missiles are considered as the deadliest missile. And if you remember that Balakot, and after that Pakistan also launched a missile on Indian Su-30 MKIs. Though Su-30 MKIs are able to evade, but that have exposed India do not have any BVR missiles. When India have purchased 36 Rafales, then Meteor, which is developed by European company MBDA. So that missile came with that 36 Rafale aircraft. So by induction of Meteor, India was able to have what? Beyond visual range missile. But that missiles are extremely costly. Fine. And India have decided to go for development of their own missiles under the name of Astra. Fine. Under the name of Astra. So Astra Mark 1, which is having the range of 80 to 100 kilometers. Then they went for Mark 2. Mark II, which is having the range of 100 to 140 kilometer. But the latest one, which is surfaced on social media platform known as Astra Mark III, which is have the whopping range of 340 kilometer. 340 kilometer. And this missile is considered as one of the finest missile. Why? What are the important things? For your understanding, I'll show two pictures here. One picture, you can see that this is the missile, and this is a certain area of missile which is not properly visible. In fact, it is blurred deliberately. Whereas another Astra missile, you can see that there is no certain things here. Fine. So for your comparison, two missiles. Fine. Two missiles. Mark I and Mark II. Whereas this Mark III, this have this additional thing. So this additional thing is SFDR. Solid Fuel Ducted Ramjet engine based missile. And in past, DRDO have tested this Mark III missile from land-based launchers. But recently, as this image is surfaced on social media, which shows that it is erected in a launcher of Sukhoi Su-30 MKI. Means now this missile is not just going to be tested from the ground. DRDO with Indian Air Force, they are going to test this missile from the aircraft. And once the tests are being successful, validated, it will be inducted in the Indian Air Force. First Sukhoi Su-30 MKI, then it will be also inducted on other platforms. Now, why it is significant and why DRDO and Government of India have given the name of this missile to Gandiva. So Gandiva is what? Gandiva was a Dhanush of whom? Arjuna. Fine. And it is considered as one of the best in his class, and it cannot be defeated at all. So the purpose of giving this name is to show that how this missile is effective. And this SFDR, solid fuel ducted ramjet engine, will allow this missile to sustain its speed of 2 to 3 Mach in their entire flight path. Whereas these missiles, when they are being launched, they are having solid fuel, and this fuel is going to be burned, then these missiles are going to lose their speed. Fine. And they are easy to evade. Whereas solid fuel ducted motor based, ramjet motor based missiles, they are able to sustain their speed in their entire flight path. And that is why it is almost impossible for aircraft to evade such kind of missiles. Fine. As of right now, only Meteor have this capacity in the world. Now India is going to be the second country in the world to have solid fuel ducted ramjet based missile beyond visual range missile. So it is a great achievement. It is a great achievement for our armed forces and for our research institutions like DRDO. Because this is going to give a clear-cut edge to Indian Air Force over their adversaries, Pakistan and China. So, in fact, if you will see the previous year's question paper of GS paper 3, 2 years back, they have asked this question on SFDR. What is SFDR? Solid fuel ducted motor based question. It is being asked in the paper 3. So now you have to keep in the mind that this Gandiva Missile is actually Astra Mark III, having the range of 340 km maximum range, and they are based on solid fuel ducted ramjet engine SFDR. So SFDR is a specialty of this missile, having the range of up to 340 km, and if you want more detail, it can go to 340 km if it is launched from altitude of 20 km, and if it is launched from altitude of 8 km, it can go to 190 km. And this missile is having a capacity to fly with speed of up to 2 to 3 Mach, and highly maneuverable, and it can adjust its speed according to the target. So these are certain important features. One more feature, this missile is having dual data link, means missile have its own navigation system. So once it is launched by the aircraft, it can navigate on its own, as well as it can be navigated by that aircraft or any other aircraft which is in that envelope. Fine, so these are the specific features of this Gandiva missile. One bonus point here, like if you'll see this image. So in this image, you can see that this special mark. So this mark is basically shows that of a public sector, defense public sector enterprises, defense public sector undertaking or enterprise, that is Bharat Dynamics Limited, BDL. So this is a symbol of BDL, who is a manufacturer of this missile. So in India, missiles are generally manufactured by BDL, fine, defense sector PSU. Okay, thank you.
కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామ్ సంబంధించి ప్రత్యేకంగా సివిల్ సర్వీసెస్ ఎగ్జామ్ సంబంధించి ఏ ఆప్షన్ చూస్ చేసుకోవాలి, ప్రిపరేషన్ ఎప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి, ఏ బుక్స్ రిఫర్ చేయాలి, ఇలాంటి డౌట్స్ ఉంటే CSBIS అకాడమీని కాంటాక్ట్ అవ్వచ్చు. దీనికి సంబంధించి నా పర్సనల్ అపాయింట్మెంట్ ఈ వీడియో పైన డిస్ప్లే అవుతున్న కాంటాక్ట్ నెంబర్కి ఫోన్ చేసి తీసుకోవచ్చు.